Thanks for joining in. Thanks for taking time to attend this webinar for all the new students who are being admitted for fall 2021. It's a pleasure to host you all. I know there are a lot of questions going on in your head of what's next for you and how to make this move to make this transition from India to College Station. We'll try to address most of the concerns in this presentation, and then we'll go do another webinar going forward. What I do is we'll quickly do a round of introductions for the IGSA team over here, sitting here from College Station, and then we'll go ahead start off with a quick tidbits and a quick 15-minute presentation. The motive of this webinar was to put a lot of emphasis on question and answer sessions so that we address a lot of concerns which you find. What we'll do is we'll use I hope you all have your phones across. We'll post a link on chat. Please use that link to type in your questions. Please note that you have an option to upvote and downvote those questions. When you upvote, we understand that that is one question which has to be addressed in priority. So make sure make sure you upvote each of the questions which you think is very apt for you at this point of time. And give me a couple of minutes before. Okay, to start off, I'll start off with my introduction. I'm Vivek Reddy. I'm a PhD student in Petroleum Engineering Department at TAMO. I've been here in College Station for a little over 7 months, but I've been in US for a while, so I'm pretty much aware of what a new student faces through his transition from India to College Station. Without further ado, I'll ask the IGSA team to go ahead and introduce themselves. Shrikesh, you can go ahead first. Naga, you're on call.
All right. Sorry. Yeah, we had some issues with the unmuting on this. All right. My name is Shrikesh Prasad. I'm the president of the Indian Graduate Students Association here at Texas A&M. I've been the president here for about a month now. I'm just starting new here, but I've been with IGSA since the fall of 2019. I was here. I joined in I'm right now currently doing a PhD in electrical engineering. So I'll be here for a while, and I hope to see you all soon. We have about over 200 to 30 participants here, and for today, we just want to know what your concerns are. We have a small presentation for you at the start, and then we want to know what are the questions you have, and try to address them if you can. Also today we have a representative from the London apartments. So they were one of our partners joining us today. And we'll have a small brief presentation from them at the end of one of our presentations. We'll give you a cue on when they will start, and then we can get started on that. I'll let the others and the team introduce themselves. Thank you. Naga, can you go ahead?
Yeah, I can go ahead. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, and a good morning, like for those who are hopefully in USA, maybe. So I'm Naga Bilash Shadaram. I'm a fall 19 student. So I'm from Materials Science and Engineering. I'm a master's student. I'm pretty much done with my master's at this point. So yeah, so I've been here like about 2 years, and I've been like answering questions in the WhatsApp group, and like all probably like would know me. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Right, Ankit.
Hello guys, my name is Ankit and I'm a master's student here, and I'm pursuing my master's in computer science. So I joined recently in spring 21. So probably I can relate a lot to questions of you guys coming in the COVID era. And welcome to this webinar. I hope we can help you a lot and answer most of your questions.
Ashik?
Yeah. Hi guys. I'm Ashik and I'm a master student in management information systems. I came to US in the spring. So yeah, as Ankit said, we have a lot of experience during the COVID era thing. So we'll be able to answer your questions.
Do we have Suvarna on the call?
Yes. Hi guys. So I'm Savarna. I'm doing a master's in environmental engineering. I'm also a Spring 21 joinee. So I remember attending one of the IGSA webinars in spring, and they were very useful for me. So make sure you ask a lot of questions, and we have all the resources and a lot of nice people to answer the questions. Good luck.
Right. I think also I do want to introduce Ms. Kathy Guerra. I hope I said that name right. Yeah, if you could go ahead and introduce yourself. Maybe we can do your presentation after one of our presentations, but please go ahead and introduce yourself too.
All right, thank you. Yes, my name is Kathy Guerra. Your pronunciation was very close, no worries. I'm a former student from A&M. I got my bachelor's and my master's in geology and geophysics. And I work here at the London as a leasing agent for the time being, and I'll be very happy to assist you with any questions.
Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, for now, I think Naga, can we go ahead with your presentation now? Or Vivek, do you have anything to say?
What I'll do is, Strikas, let's. I'd put up the IGSA introduction for you, and then we'll move on to Langa's presentation.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, as many of you may have already known, IGSA, the Indian Graduate Students Association at Texas A&M, is we are one of the largest international student communities here in Texas A&M. We represent over 1,000 plus members in Nike land. One of our main aims of when this organization started was to help the new incoming students acclimatize to the new environment here at Texas A&M. A lot of you are coming in from India, and then a lot of you, most of it, like including me, did not know what life in Texas A&M looks like. And A&M is, especially A&M, is filled with so many rich cultures and experiences that you do not want to be missing out on things. So we started this organization to help students get used to this, get the best out of the Aggieland experience. Initially, when we started off, we had 3 portfolios, which were advocacy, mentoring, and networking. So we do mentor new students. So this webinar is part of our mentoring outreach. So this is to get in touch with the incoming students in the first part. And then we also have parts of our organization which are in touch with most of our university relations, so that we can put out any of the concerns that Indian students are facing to the university, and we can get them sorted. We also have some networking opportunities, a lot of networking opportunities within our Indian community and outside as well. You get to meet a lot of new people. You get to interact with industry people. We do have seminars and webinars from industry representatives. So as a brief overview, this is what IGSA does. And yeah, looking forward to having a fruitful webinar here. Yeah, like we can go ahead and show you some of the events that we had. We had the Brazos Valley World Fest. Usually the first thing that you'll probably look at is the welcome party. We hope to have an in-person welcome party for you all. We're very, very excited to come back to sort of pre-COVID era. So yeah, welcome party is the first time we will get to meet you. We will have a small social, rather large social event there. We'll have the first thing is that you'll get some Indian food here. You'll get to see what that feels like in the US. Trust me, it's not that great. And then we also celebrate our cultural events like Diwali, Holi, and Ganesh Utsav. We do also participate in the Brazos Valley World Fest, where we go ahead and showcase our Indian culture to the local A&M community here, and that's always been one of the highlights of our organization. And in general, we work as a really good team. So any sort of concerns, any sort of queries that you have, anything that we can help you out with, we try to do that. Yeah, Vivek, do we want to show anything else in here?
I think we can go ahead with Naga's presentation at this point.
Yeah.
Naga, you can go ahead and share your screen.
Also, just a quick reminder, please have all your questions on PollEV and not on the chat. It kind of gets really difficult for us to manage, especially with like 250, 280 people on the call. It's really difficult for us to manage chat. So if you could put it on PollEV, that'll be great. Thank you.
Oh, can you people see it?
Yes.
Okay, and is it in like full screen and stuff?
Yeah, we see it in portrait mode.
Oh, okay.
Shrikesh, do you mind sharing this slides from your end so that I think it would be better?
Sorry, what?
I'm asking Shrikesh to share the slides from his end. So, I mean, it looks in portrait mode, the slides which you shared. All right.
Now?
This looks good. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
there you go. Okay, so yeah, this is me, guys. This is Naga Vilas here again. So let's give you a brief introduction about like the first steps into moving into the USA. As you all know, man, it's not just a simple step. It takes a lot of what you call multiple things to worry about in the process. Let's begin with the things. So make this, have this slides as a final checklist for like for people. So that if you check off each thing in this presentation, that should give you a smooth process into your transition from India to USA. Okay, so what you should do like when coming to the USA is like first have a checklist, have a clear idea of like where you have to go, like and like you have all your documents ready with you, like for like literally every step of the documents ready with you to be moving to the USA, because obviously at every checkpoint documents are the first thing that they're gonna check. So yeah, have that ready, and what you call already have some contacts here. Like for example, I mean you have been talking to the IGSA representatives here, so like have like some seniors in contact, and have a good contact with your department advisor if possible, and some professors if you can, so that will make everything in the later part of your masters very easy. Okay, so yeah, as I said, what you call first create a to-do style task list and then go about it. So don't be late in the process. Like try your best to get your visa done at the earliest, because most steps in your transition from India to USA starts once you get the visa. Because as long as like you don't get the visa, nothing is confirmed on your end. You can just have hopes and dreams, but they can't be what you call actually be done in real life. So yeah, then as I mentioned, like what you call try to talk to like the fellow Aggies. Okay, so for people who might not have a context, Aggies is an Aggie is any student at A&M, not just student. Like when anyone related to A&M is usually called an Aggie. In general, it's the students. So yeah, so talk to your fellow Aggies who are like incoming in your batch, and like try to get your roommates and apartments like figured out. And yeah, so when you're considering housing, like these are the 5 main factors what you should look into. That is like where the location is, and like what are the like what expenses. So does it come out in your budget? Like what are your plans for budget, and like the distance from like the nearest grocery spots, and like how connective like what's the connectivity between the apartments and the A&M, and like the safety of the location. So once you have like these 5 checked out, like then that location would be what you call perfect for you to at least stay for 1 year. Okay, and this is very important. Like have a clear end-to-end itinerary. That what I mean by this is like from your doorstep at your house to the airport, and airport to maybe if you have what do you call a layover in India itself, or like you have a layover somewhere else in a third country between India and USA. Make sure like of all the airline rules and like all the restrictions they have on Indian F1 students as of now, like because from what I heard, like some countries are not allowing Indian students to like take a layover there, so don't go for that airlines or like don't book them and like then lose money. So have a clear idea about that. Then have a clear idea about where that flight is landing, what to do at the immigration, and then have a very have a advanced booking of your. I would suggest, man, what do you call? I would suggest like have a pre-booking of like your vehicle from airport you're landing in USA to college station as well. So have all this in your hand even before moving out, what do you call, from your house. And then what you should avoid when coming to the USA. So don't book the first flight you see, and like do not buy luggage without having your airline tickets in your hand, because a good number of airlines have like similar restrictions, similar size limitations and like weight limitations, but some might have a bit different. So first, have a proper thorough research into your flight and like see which one is at your best time, which flights have layovers in which countries, and are those countries allowing like you to have a layover in their country or not. Once you have all that in place, then see for price, see for offers, and once everything is in place, book that flight ticket and then go and buy luggage, because that's the safest way. So once you have the flight tickets, there'll be probably a tab in the flight ticket saying the check-in bag size limitations, the what do you call it? The cabin bag size limitations. Go and see that and like then buy luggage accordingly. And more importantly, what to pack. Okay, so in this part, so what I would say is like have a checklist of what to pack on your phone. That's why I've put up a phone picture on your left. So there's a very proper clear checklist mentioned on the IGSA website in the resources tab. You can go there and have like a very detailed checklist. A very detailed packing list. But for simple terms, I could explain here simply. That is, first, you should have your flight tickets and all your itinerary, like all the tickets and like all the bookings of itinerary in place. Hard copy is, you can have like one hard copy, but it's not really recommended. As of now, everything is usually online. And the second being documents like your I-20s, your passport, visa, your degrees, and like your extra copies of transcripts, and like literally any document like you might want to have. And the third is have all these documents on your drive, like that might be Google Drive or like anything of your choice, but have all the important documents scanned and like in a drive, so that if you ever might need anywhere, you can just download it on spot. The fourth is what do you call regarding cash. So you can so it's up to you. You can bring like cash or forex card. Like we can we'll delve into that in the what do you call Q&A part. But yeah, get your cash and forex card ready like at least a few days before your travel, and like don't push that to the last moment. The fifth being your laptop. Yeah, so make sure like your laptop and everything are like properly tucked in your bag and stuff, so that like don't move around and like what do you call get damaged. Have your electronics mostly in your laptop bag with you. The essential electronics like phone, laptop, like maybe a hard disk or like a mouse, those stuff. Okay, sixth being electronics. Don't buy any brand new costly electronics in India. Things are like, at least for electronics, things are pretty cheap here. So if you intend to buy new laptop or new phone or whatever, just come over here, like bring your old, almost broken device here, like use it for a few days, and like then buy a new one here. The next thing is clothing. Hopefully in this fall, things will open back up, and you'll be getting a lot of like literally a lot of free t-shirts on campus. So don't stress on like your clothing a lot. Okay, if you really want to bring a few, and like try to bring one or two like Indian traditional clothes, because hopefully we'll have some Indian events here, so you can wear on them. But really every other clothes, if you just prefer a good fit t-shirt and like jeans, like you don't really have to worry, because on campus no one, like at least in USA from what I've seen, is like on campuses like no one cares about all those branded clothes. People just wear like the free t-shirt which they get all the time. So, and the next being shoes. Don't bring like all your shoe collections. Just bring like one comfy slippers, one or two shoe at the max, because they take up space, and shoes are like very cheap in USA in general. The next is medication. Have your all the medication and like the prescriptions very properly made and like signed by doctor. bring your medication and what you call prescriptions properly sealed, packed, and like your prescriptions with the medication. And the next being bathroom supplies and stuff. If you just bring the travel pack sizes of one each, like one travel pack, as in it should be much less than like just the palm of your hand. Like the travel kit, I think if they are like 10 rupee, 20 rupee packs of shampoo, conditioner, or whatever you want to bring. Don't bring because of like just if you like I mean, if you like a particular brand of shampoo, don't get a 2 liter pack of it. So literally you get most 99% of like all the good brands which are in India, even in USA. The next being the kitchen utensils. One main important thing is you have to bring your pressure cooker, and that depends on your sharing among your roommates. And also you can technically buy a pressure cooker here, like if you want to, and if you want to save space and weight in your luggage. But I mean, people usually would suggest you to bring a pressure cooker from there. Rest all stuff you can probably buy here. I mean, in sharing with your roommates, things are not expensive. At least, I mean, relatively things are not that expensive here. And the last being your snacks and stuff. So if you want, if you're, I mean, the first thing people miss after coming to USA is like the Indian food. So the Indian snacks and like the Indian what you call chill, I mean, and like time pass food. So bring that made by your parents, because that, I mean, you would miss that the most. So bring that more, and like not the other stuff like a huge clothes collection, huge shoe collection, and like all the toiletries, like 2 liter bottles of every toiletry possible. Don't waste your space and what you call volume for that. And like instead like what you call try to bring this, but don't overdo it obviously, because there'll be customs and they might stop you. So yeah, bring everything in moderation, but don't overdo anything. And yeah, and more importantly, like don't ever hesitate to ask for help and clarification. People are very helpful here. Like for some reason, I mean, I would say like people are much more helpful and like much more warm and open to questions, and like willing to help. At least in Texas, I mean, that's what I've seen. So yeah, always if you have any question, like don't what you call, I mean, don't keep to yourself. Try asking everyone and anyone possible. They'll, even if they don't know the answer, like they might point you to the person who might know the answer. And I think that's pretty much my presentation.
So yeah, thanks Naga for that brief overview of everything that we want to cover today. We again, like Vivek said, we want to focus on the Q&A for today. So we want to keep our presentations short. For now, yeah. Thanks Naga and Kathy. Maybe we can go ahead with your presentation about the London, and then we can go ahead and take questions from the students.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'll go ahead and share the screen so y'all can see the presentation. Okay. So just wanted to go over a few slides showing what the London has to offer, including the clubhouse amenities and our apartments. So this is what the front of the London looks like. And then when you go into our front office, this is what our clubhouse will be like. As you can see, it has a higher level of a standard, and we'd like to offer a professional level of hospitality and customer service for our residents. This lobby was designed by John Call, who is, this is part of our autograph collection. So it's just an overall higher standard for student housing that we hold here. Then every resident will have access to a fitness center called the gym, and you will have access to top of the line equipment such as Peloton bikes with virtual trainers, punching bags, water rowers, and any other type of equipment for any workout, even a Stairmaster. So I know that as A&M students, you'll have access to the rec center, which is an amazing fitness center. But if you didn't want to go all the way to campus, you have access to a fitness center right at home. The next amenity I want to show you guys is going to be our resort style pool. In terms of gallons of water, it is the largest pool in College Station, and it features loungers, cabanas, out in an outdoor kitchen. It has been renovated, so all of those chairs, they're brand new, and they're perfect for tanning, or if you would like to just take a swim. And we offer pool events such as crawfish boils, pool parties, and movie nights. So a lot of events for our residents. We also offer a social space for residents to meet, greet, and just connect. So it's a good way to socialize inside our clubhouse, make new friends. And as they were saying, people here in College Station are very friendly. So I'm sure you'll be able to find people that you can ask questions to or just become friends with. We also offer a computer lab with PC and Mac computers, depending on your preference. We offer self-printing services, just they're for free. You don't have to pay to print anything, and it's unlimited printing. And a sophisticated lifestyle, because we are the London here in College Station, so we want to offer like the London vibe. We also have a Starbucks coffee lounge called the Joe Bar, and you're able to get free coffee, hot chocolate, chai lattes, or just hot water for tea. And again, this is all inclusive for our residents. You don't have to pay extra for that. And then we also offer a library for students to come and just study and socialize. And we even have a picture of the Queen of England, again, here at the London. It's a comfortable space to just meet with friends, relax or study. You can see some pictures of people hanging out and at some of the events that we host. And just stay connected and powered during your stay. So a lot of those tables that you see here have outlets to plug in your devices. And we offer lots of free food events like grocery bingos or free food Fridays. So we try to have different meal options for those who are vegetarian. But overall, we like to provide a lot of free stuff for our residents. We know students love free food. And then we have private study rooms that allow you to, just meet with your classmates or roommates, because we do promote studying for any majors. We want to make sure that you have the opportunity to do what you came here to do, which is get your degree and finalize your studies. And you belong here at the London. Anybody that wants to live here, we will make it as easy as possible with the leasing process, moving procedure, billing questions, renewing your lease for more years, and any work orders you have. So lastly, we do promise to have a high level of service, a positive company culture, a very diverse atmosphere, just dynamic social settings with all the events we have, exclusive membership for residents, and just a unique experience for y'all. So thank you again. And if you have any questions, do let us know. I'd be happy to assist you.
Yeah, can you also maybe provide them maybe a contact detail of yourself or someone at your apartment that they can reach out to their questions?
Yes, so I can provide you do you want me to put it on the chat?
Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah, if you could put it on the chat, that'll be great. And also we've been getting a lot of questions about how important it is to be housed near campus or on bus routes. Could you also maybe speak to how bus routes are accessible on there? What are the nearest grocery stores you have available and things like that?
Okay, yes. So we are located 1 mile away from campus. We get 2 bus routes here that stop right in front of our property. So you don't have to drive anywhere or walk very far to get to those bus stops. It's between like a 1 minute or 3 minute walk, depending the building you live in. And we have bus routes 35 and 36, in case you're familiar with the A&M bus shuttles. We also have a grocery store called Berkshire Brothers right across the street. It is about maybe 10-minute walking distance, but the bus routes from A&M can also take you there. So you don't have to walk if you don't want to. There's also bus route options. And we also have gas stations that are about maybe a 5 to 10-minute walk. And you can, get snacks or drinks from there. So all the convenience items that you might need are available at just walking distance from here.
So yeah, the London has also been very gracious in giving the students from IGSA a student discount. So they have an exclusive rate for us. So all you need to do is use the promo code IGSA on them. And then I'll also provide a link in the chat for a Google form if you can sign up on that. And that'll tell them that you've been referred through this webinar and through IGSA and that you're actually members of IGSA. And they can follow up from there. Thanks. Thank you so much for that presentation. And yeah, we can go ahead with our meeting, Vivek.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll quickly share the screen of the initial 30 questions which I've received. So we have logged the 30 questions. We are not accepting any more responses because we want to address those 30 questions in order, and then we'll go ahead, clear the responses, and ask for further questions. We didn't want to pile up many questions and keep most of them unanswered. So we'd rather do. So what I'd suggest everyone to do is on those first 30 questions which have been asked, please upward and downward so that we can prioritize which questions have to be answered first, and then we'll go ahead answering the rest. We can add more questions as and when we answer the first few questions. All right, let me go ahead and share the screen for the questions so that everyone can see that. All right. Speaking about housing, the first question is all about housing. Stickers, you want to take that question on how important is it to get housing nearby campus?
Of course. Right. So yeah, a lot of people have been asking about how important it is to get housing near the campus, and I would say it is quite important. It depends on again, it depends on what kind of an environment you're in. If you're someone who is a researcher and you need to keep going to the lab every now and then, and your time has to be very flexible, and you have to be there at whatever time your professor asks you to be, it's kind of important that you stay on campus. If not, you can always you can always stay away from campus if your schedule is just about classes. So if all that you're doing is going on classes, and you're traveling during the during class hours, then A&M has buses every 8 minutes on most of the routes, and it's completely okay to stay far away from campus. I would say it'll kind of be beneficial if you can stay closer to the Indian community where most people are staying. So that kind of helps you get along with people. Helps you get acclimatized easier, especially after the COVID era. But also at the same time, if you are someone who prefers to go grocery shopping every other day, maybe you want to live somewhere close to a place which has a grocery store nearby. Again, it's completely dependent on personal choice. But yeah, in relatively, if you can stay somewhere closer, not too far away, maybe not like 4 or 5 miles away, that will be a little too much. But if you can still stay somewhere and balance out all of these, so these are the main things that you want to balance out. Based on your priorities, you can choose where you want to stay there.
All right, we'll move to the next question. What are the different tasks one must primarily complete after arriving at College Station? All right, I'll quickly share a presentation which would address these concerns, which says what exactly are the immediate tasks when you come into College Station, so that we did have it noted. So, all right, so once you are in Aggieland, what I'll do is I'll just quickly have the I-20 admit letter college. If you have any scholarship letter, please have that in hand. And the primary things which you need apart from visa, I-20 and admit letter is your immunization forms. Please don't panic if you don't have your immunization done. If you haven't done it, you can do it right at the student health center at a cost of around $85, which will be refunded if you're taking campus, if you're taking the insurance from health insurance from Texas A&M. First and foremost, what we suggest is get your open your bank accounts. Don't panic about your fees right away. You can pay your fees after coming here. After a month of coming here, you can take a payment plan where you can pay in installments. But what I would suggest is get your bank accounts open so that you know how you transfer your amounts. If you're taking a loan, how you can deposit that amount in your personal bank account and then pay your fees. The other first and foremost thing is get your student ID. Without your student ID, probably you cannot. I mean, after us, you cannot enter most of the buildings, and everywhere you go, you need to carry your student ID. That's the only identification which people recognize you on campus, that you are a Texas A&M student. The other thing is activate your net ID, and net ID is nothing but you would get an email from application. Once you got your admit, you get an email from application@tamo.edu. where, where you have a specific UIN. You can use that UIN to activate your net ID. The net ID will typically be your email address, the start of your email address. So anything related to your TAMU will have your net ID on there. So please make sure you activate your net ID right after that, right after you get that email from application@tamu.edu. Most of the people tend to ignore that. Please don't do that. And and the other thing is, make sure you remove your registration holds. In order to register for classes over here, you have registration holds. Something like, if you don't pass on your immunization records, you're not allowed to register for classes. If you don't have didn't submit your transcripts from your bachelor's, you are not allowed to register for classes. So those kind of registration holds have to be removed prior to getting enrolling for any classes. Also check in with ISS, International Student Service. That's one of the foremost things. What you do is you need to submit the required documents. You can do it online using Teradata. More of those questions will be addressed in the next webinar, which will be conducted by ISS next week. So we'll post a link for that webinar for ISS on the WhatsApp groups and Telegram groups, so that you are aware of how to access those. All right, I'll quickly move on to the next question. Can you please share the packing list for items to carry while traveling to College Station from India? I think Naga already addressed this question. Naga, you want to quickly put it, brief it again in about 20 seconds, so that we can go address more questions.
Sure. So yeah, everyone, what you call, just head over to IGSA website. So just type in IGSA TAMU, and like it should be the first link on top. And once you go in that, there should be a thing called resources. I think like Ankit just posted the link on the chat, so you can just go through that. That literally has like step by step like what things you actually need. So I would suggest, even in them, like have your own point of view and like get things as minimum as possible, because like just remember, like you four people, like you'll be two or one or like four people in a room in an apartment, and if everyone gets everything, it's gonna just be like cluttered in your whole apartment. So if you already have your apartment, like your roommates figured out, plan with them and like then get stuff accordingly.
All right, moving on to the next question. Can a bank account be opened online? What are the options available? Shrikesh, you want to take that question real quick?
Right, yeah. So for bank accounts, we have the closest one we used to have was Wells Fargo, which is right across the campus. But currently, because of COVID, they've closed that branch down. It doesn't really matter which bank you go and open your account. Although some of the banks do offer free checking account. That means that you don't have any fees on your checking account. So some I know. So the three options that I can mainly think of are Wells Fargo, Chase, and Bank of America. I know Bank of America and Wells Fargo do not have any transaction fees or any monthly fees when you're registered as a student. The Chase also has some student benefits, but they're kind of limited. They're limited. They're good if you're someone who has an on-campus job and is earning $500 a month, and you can get that deposited in that checking account every month. Then most of your fees are waived off. So yeah, the options that I would personally recommend are Wells Fargo, Bank of America, or Chase, and you can go to any one of these.
Yeah, and part of the question was whether this can be opened online. So most of the banks do not allow. I mean, I would say none of the banks allow you without a social security number on there. But if you are in person, you can provide your visa, and being a student, you can provide your identity card and visa and the I-20 documents in order to open an account in person. But you cannot do it online because it might require you to provide your social security number, which needs a employment letter back on campus.
Even with social security, I've tried this myself. I've tried opening an online account. And for F1 students, when you enter in your visa details as an F1 student, they say that they need to verify your I-20 and they will not open it online. So you will need to go to the bank and do it.
That addresses the question. Awesome. All right. Yeah, COVID concerns. Given that we are quarantined for the first week, how do we arrange for groceries, open a bank account, and other miscellaneous tasks? Great question. I'll take this question. So typically, most of the people, if you are quarantined, one thing is your peers. If you have any contacts back in College Station, it would be great. You can contact them. Otherwise, there is something called Uber Eats where you can order your food if you're not already cooking. Then you can use Uber Eats or any other options available for online delivery. And you can also order online groceries. You can place an order on Walmart for your groceries, and everything can be picked up right in front of your door. You will get that. Bank account, I'd rather stay for a week and then open your bank account if you're quarantining in the first 1 week. I'll go. I hope that addresses the question. Let's go to the next question. Ashik, you want to take the next question? How to apply for part-time jobs?
Yeah, so for applying for part-time jobs, there's a portal, Hire IGs. We can post the link for that in the chat so that you guys can go there, and there are various filters there. So make sure you apply the right filters for yourself when you're looking for the part-time jobs. Let me see if I can find the link.
So the thing to use jobs for Aggies is primarily you need to be enrolled for the courses. You need to enroll for at least for all the credits, and then you are given access to jobs for Aggies. So you would want to come, register for the courses first, and then look out for part-time jobs on that portal.
So like I have posted the link for job for Aggies or Hire Aggies. It redirects to the same portal, but you might not be able to access it if you are not already here or enrolled in the courses.
All right. Another question. Is cycling a good mode of transport to reach campus considering the weather conditions? Ankit, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. So like I recently got a bicycle and have a current experience with it. So it's fine. So it depends upon where you are located as well. Like if you have a good bus service, then you might want to take that. So it's like easier to carry your stuff, and you can like study something in the bus or just relax. And I think it will come down to a personal preference, because cycling will save your time, because buses come at a current of like 15 minutes or 13 minutes, depending upon where you want to go. And cycling will give you a flexibility. So I think you'll have to come here and see it for yourself, but it's definitely something you would want to keep in your books.
One thing I would recommend is the buses frequency depends on the time of the day. So if you're here during like summer, it's every 30 minutes, or if it's a holiday, it's every 1 hour or 30 minutes. But if it's during class hours, it's 8 minutes. So it depends on when you want to travel. Again, most people prefer to take the bus during class hours and use cycle for other reasons. And again, it depends on your personal physical ability to cycle for about a mile and a half if you can. Weather conditions, most of the time in Texas, it's hot as what people assume, but that's not been the case the past year. It's mostly been cold here, especially during the last whole winter. We even had snow over here, if you guys don't know. We had snow twice, and that's never happened before. Yeah, so it depends on the weather conditions can be very tricky to judge, but most of the time you can cycle to campus. Yeah.
One more thing I like to add to that is like most of the roads have cycle lanes here, so it's pretty safe to ride your cycles here.
So there's another question, like, is it safe to cycle to campus during night? So does anyone have experience with that?
Yeah, I personally have cycled in the campus at night, and it's pretty safe. Like the campus is usually lit, and then there's like lamps everywhere, so there shouldn't be a problem.
Don't buy branded clothes. Nobody cares what brand you're wearing here. Whatever creative.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and okay. Yeah, if you can, ideally buy a small torch headlight clamp for your cycles as well if you prefer that. So those are the.
It is recommended to have that. It is recommended to have it.
Yeah, I think it's a law. Like you need to have it in the. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next question. Do we need to quarantine if you have taken 2 Covishield doses? So there's no mandatory quarantine rule as of now, but we would definitely recommend you guys to quarantine once you are here, because international travel is always sketchy. You never know what your how many interactions you're making while you're traveling on flight. I definitely recommend stay home for the first 4 days at least, or a week if you can do it, and then start moving outside wherever you're staying. Like I said, there's no mandatory quarantine as of now, but there might be changes going forward. So we'll keep you posted on the IGSA website if at all there are any quarantine rules. Does the IGSA help students finding lodging for some days if they arrive before their scheduled move-in date? Shrikesh, I want you to take this question.
Sure. Yeah. A lot of you would have heard about IGSA's temporary accommodation that we've done in the past, but unfortunately this year we will not be able to do that. One, mainly because of COVID. People are not comfortable. I mean, one of the ways that we used to do it was have people volunteer to host others in their houses for a few days. And this year, we as an organization also do not want to take a risk, and people are kind of scared about infection when people have just traveled abroad. So right now, IGSA is not able to provide any temporary accommodation. What we would recommend is a bunch of you joining together. I mean, making a group and then maybe taking an Airbnb. That'll probably be one of your cheapest options. If not, if you can find someone who you know here, who knows like is a really good friend of yours, or like can trust, and they are willing to take you on as like here, just host you here for a few days. That will also work. But our recommendation is that you at least quarantine for a while before coming in contact with other people here. So the best thing would be to make a group and get an Airbnb.
Yeah, we would love to help you guys, but it's only because of COVID that we cannot help you at this point of time. I know we know how important is it, the first 3 days of temporary accommodation is for anyone, but unfortunately, due to COVID, we didn't want to take that liability of putting the present students at risk and asking them to share the accommodation with new students. So yeah, if it was not COVID, probably we would be taking care of that anyway. All right, next question.
Try to see if we can get something for you guys when you come here, but we're working on something there. Yeah.
We are still doing it. It's on our agenda every meeting we do. So anyway, next question is, what would the first month look like at A&M? I'd recommend Suvarna, you want to take this question?
So
okay, never mind. Let's let Ankit take this question. Ankit.
Yeah.
So I think your first month will be pretty busy. So you'll be working on a lot of stuff, for like setting up your apartments, figuring out the bus routes, looking at your buildings in Texas A&M campus. It's a huge campus. You will spend a lot of time exploring that. And then you will have other work like opening your bank accounts and setting up everything. And your classes will also start around the same time. So if you will be busy attending those. So I think these were the major tasks that I was doing in the first month. And yeah, I think you will be pretty busy doing the same.
Yeah, what I'd suggest is try to talk to as many people as you can. That's more important in the first month, because you're settling down in new places. I'd recommend you getting getting suggestions from everyone, but do what is right for you at the same time. So make sure you talk to, even if it's career wise, I mean your course wise, academic purpose wise, or your personal life in College Station. I would recommend you talking to people. People who stay by themselves are often the people who take more time to settle down in College Station. The first month is very crucial in terms of you interacting with fellow Aggies in order to make your life easy at College Station. All right. Owing to the situation that Z Island or Gateway London apartments are occupied, could you suggest 2 and 4 bedroom apartments which are preferred by? What I'll do with this is probably we'll share a handout after this, probably to everyone, or post it on Facebook for you guys to see. It will have the remaining set of housing options which we have. I mean, those are just suggestible. Again, it's your liability to talk to those people and try to set up a lease and also see if everything is fine. There are a lot many concerns which you need to address. That handout does address those kind of issues, so please go through that handout, everyone. We'll post it on the Facebook group. That would be the easiest bet, I guess. What are the bike cycle centers near college station so that we can rent by you we reach campus?
We are right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
I
guess, yeah, e-ride is one of the only options that are there, and the cycles are pretty. It's like 50 cents for an half an hour, I guess. That's the price for the cycles, and there are electrical kind of scooter kind of thing as well, which are a bit pricey. I'm not sure the exact cost of that, but yeah.
So what we are talking about is VEO rides, which is on campus. On campus, we have places where the cycles are kept. Those are free to use at a specific rate. It is a very nominal rate. You have around 20-30 cents. I am not sure of the rate, but you can use those. You can sign up through your mobile app, try to scan the QR code, and then use that cycle, if I'm not wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. And then you can drive it from one place of the campus and put it go to for example, go from North Campus to West Campus, stay there, keep the cycle over there, and then attend your classes. So, and then you have also electrical bikes which you can drive. But again, those are ones which you can do it only on campus and cannot go beyond the campus limits.
So I've also posted a link on the chat that has a lot of information about the bicycle services TAMO offers. You can even lease or even buy the surplus bicycles from the department, and the phone number is mentioned there, so you can contact them directly for the next sale and other information.
Also, for the guys who are thinking that why did we post the Q&A Excel sheet before, we are trying to post the questions from that Excel sheet and onto this poll EV in order to address those questions as well. Due to time constraints, we are not able to open both the pages at this point of time, but we are trying to post those links. And there's one question from there which says, by when do we need to pay the tuition fees and other fees? Can the tuition fee be paid in installments or partially via loan and rest from personal funds? You can do either way. You need, like I said, it's not that you have to come here. If you don't pay the fees, you're not allowed to attend the college. You have an option to pay it in installments. You need to take a payment plan, which will cost an extra $15 for the entire semester. So it is pretty flexible that way. Can this be paid in partially from loan and personal funds? Of course, you can do that, but you need to, whatever you paid will be deducted from the balance which you have, and the rest you can account through your personal funds. So like I said, please don't come with that burden of that you need to pay the fees right up front. You will be given that liberty of taking some time to pay that fees in installments by December. Yeah. All right, next question. Can a non-thesis master student still have the non-resident tuition fee? Naga, anyone? Yeah, go ahead. Naga or Shrikesh.
Generally, we've not seen this happen. It's very rare for this to happen unless you have a scholarship. So the basic idea for getting a non-resident tuition waiver is that you need to have a scholarship with $1,000 in there. So if you get a scholarship which says that you're getting $1,000 from the university, $1,000 or above, and then you don't have to do any thesis for that. You can get a non-resident tuition waiver. But we've not seen this happen for most non-thesis students. A lot of people do get this, and they say you need to do a thesis in order to qualify for this scholarship. So that's how it's been so far.
Like I would like to add a little more on that. So this I think will also depend on which department you're coming to.
Yes.
For in computer science department, there are certain part-time roles which offer you a non-resident tuition waiver. So but those are actually there just to keep your expectations right. So you can look into that, and mostly those are related to the web development. So as a portal link we just mentioned, a job for Aggies, so there will be options like GANT, Gantt. So those offers are usually a non-resident tuition waiver. So you can look into that.
All right, next question. Again, this is an important question. Everyone would be wondering, how would I commute from the airport to college station? Like, you can avail this ground shuttle services. I'd recommend one of you guys to answer this, who has availed. Hi everyone, could I know about the ground shuttle services within TAMO, so that we get a rough idea, making it easier for us to plan further once we reach airport?
Yeah, I used the service when I came here in 2019. It's still running well. Ground shuttle is one of the most reliable ways to get from Houston or Austin to College Station, but they do not have any services to Dallas. Another option, so all that you need to do is go on their website and book a time slot, which is somewhere close to your. Where can we have them muted, please? Yeah, thank you. So yeah, book a time slot which is close to your arrival time, and then it is kind of flexible. In case you miss it, you can tell them that you missed the flight, and they will try to accommodate you on the same day. But if you are coming in on the last flight of the day, you will have to find a way to stay in the airport if it gets delayed. But they are kind of flexible about rebooking you on different routes, different timings. Sorry. Another good option that you may want to explore is this thing called Hitch. Hitch is sort of like an Uber, but for an intercity travel. And there is new startups, so they're giving heavy discounts for traveling between cities, especially Houston and College Station. I've seen people get rides for as low as $20, $16, $20 for one-way ride from Houston to College Station. So you may want to explore the option of Hitch also.
All right, moving on to the next question. I'll do three more questions in the interest of time, to keep it short, and then we'll wrap it up. Any more questions, guys, feel free to post it on the Facebook group or the WhatsApp groups. We'll try to address it. Otherwise, we'll still have a few webinars lined up going forward. And yeah, this webinar has attendance to the max. We have 300 on the limit. But what we'll do is, going forward, is we'll stream it on Facebook, so that other people who cannot access it will still be able to access it through Facebook. The other thing is, we'll try posting a recording of this video on the Facebook, so that you still have this for future reference. All right. Do we need to carry winter clothing? How's the winter at Tamu? Naga, you would be the best person to. You have seen most of the winters.
Yeah. So you don't really need any winter clothing, like at least for the fall people like who are coming in. I mean, if you would be coming in spring, I would recommend to like bring a few. But if you're coming in fall, things are pretty damn hot here. So don't bring any winter clothes, just because they occupy a large, a lot of volume and weight in your luggage. So don't waste it on that. Once you come here, like as soon as you come here, like in a few months, there'll be Black Friday sale, and like there are like some Labor Day sales. There are like multiple sales like through the fall semester, and you can probably buy some stuff during that sale at a much lower price than regular price. So at least like what I've seen in like US winter clothing is they prefer good thermal insulation and like quality over brand. So that is much better to buy here, because the winter clothes you buy here are like much more suitable for the winters here. So yeah, don't bring any winter clothes from India.
Great. I'll take the next question. Can I ask this check-in be completed without being physically present in College Station but present in US? Yes, you can do it, but you'd rather want to have a physical address of College Station or anything within USA in order to complete that. What you need to do is go to Teradata, complete your online IS check-in process. It is a time-taking process. It doesn't happen in a day or two. They take usually 3 to 4 days. I mean, usually it's said 10 to 15 days of processing are the limits, but then usually ISS does respond back soon. Please don't panic that if you don't get a response within 3 days, there is some glitch in the process. Nothing like that. It's just that they are usually swamped with a lot of application checking in processes at this point of time. So give them some time to get the process done. What are the quarantine rules in College Station if you are not vaccinated? Like I said, there's no specific quarantine rules in College Station as of now, but what I would definitely recommend is go through your flight in order to get onto the flight. If your international flights, do you have any mandatory recommendation of vaccination? If yes, you would rather get one jab done. If not, if you're back in College Station, I definitely recommend you to quarantine once you're here. And at least take some time, and you can book your vaccination back in Student Health Center and get your vaccination done over here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll have last, this would be the, okay, this is it. I'll do this last question and then move on, wrap this presentation up. And then the rest of the question. Okay, I have three more. Okay,
Yeah,
let me finish.
Yeah,
Let's finish all the three of them. Yeah, I'm arriving on 9th of evening in August. My apartment allows me to move in. Okay, this is another question which most of the people have. People have a late move-in date, but they are arriving a few days before. What they usually do. Shrikesh, you want to take that question real quick?
Again, this is again circling back to the same temporary accommodation question that we had. Our best hope is like that you group and then get a Airbnb.
Yeah.
If not, if you can find someone here who can host you safely and who has. So a lot of people here have been. If you can go on to any of the subleases page, there are a few pages where you can rent, which are only for subleases and leases in College Station. So you can go there and maybe ask if anyone has an opening in their house for a room, maybe for 10-15 days, and then you can schedule there. So yeah, that's our best bet for now. Unfortunately, we do not have any temporary housing because of COVID again.
All right. Did I skip one question out there? I'm sorry. Anyway, can I use my HBSC India account there? Will there be an extra charges? I'd rather recommend opening an account over here, but I'm not sure of this. Anybody else can answer the question? Ashik, I mean the guys who joined in recently.
Yeah, in my experience, I've not seen anyone use their Indian account here. It's prefer to open a US account after coming here.
What I definitely recommend is you can use your travel cards. Like if you're using any travel cards, you definitely can use the travel cards without any extra charges. The most extra charges you would face is the transaction charges of a couple of dollars more. But using an Indian bank account, I think it's in a way, if you are using an Indian bank account staying here, you need to have an NRI or an NRO account. In order to do that, you need to switch your bank account from being your savings or checkings over there to NRI NRO account, which is again which is a head pain. I would rather recommend opening an account, which is an easy process over here. So please don't worry about. I mean, I would rather prefer doing it over here instead of using an account from there.
And I would like to add on that, like since it mentions specifically HSBC, so I think the Indian HSBC and the US HSBC are like separate entities. So this is not the same account that works and can be transferred easily. Also, HSBC doesn't have a very good customer service. They don't even have a proper email ID for the Indian account holders. So maybe you want to avoid that.
Sounds good. All right. What will be the quarantine rules if you are vaccinated with 2 doses of Covishield? Like I said, no quarantine specific rules, but rather suggest you to get quarantined over here. Last question. How hard is it for ME engineering mechanical to change to MS mechanical? Any mechanical guys from IGSA team here?
I don't think so.
All right. It would be, yeah. You want to take a hit?
Sure, yeah. MN to MS conversion is not very difficult if you can find the right advisor. So if you have some advisor who's willing to take you on as their thesis student, then it's a simple process of one application that your advisor needs to sign.
Awesome. So again, thanks a lot for making time for this webinar. Guys, I know we haven't answered all the questions. There are a lot many concerns. We'll be doing a series of webinars like this. Like I said, we'll have more audience on there and more number of questions. What I would definitely suggest you guys to do is, can you please take going back to this Polywheel link? I'd suggest you to fill in a short survey. Let me activate that server. Give me 1 second, guys.
Yeah, we kind of went overboard on today's webinar. We went over 10 minutes longer. So yeah, if you could get some feedback on if you want us to do a shorter webinar, a longer webinar, if you want us to cover more topics on this certain topics, we would be happy to do that. Like, please give us your feedback. This is the first time our team is also doing this webinar at this large scale. The last times which we've had like back in 2019 we had like 40 participants in our webinar. This is the first time we're having over 300 and the group being filled out. So yeah, please do give us your feedback on this poll EV.
All right, I'd recommend you guys to just scan that QR code, give a feedback on that poll EV right away. I mean, it wouldn't take more than 2 minutes of your time. That what it does is it will help us align to your questions next time we do a webinar. So please make sure you fill in this survey.
Yeah, one additional thing that I do want to mention here is that the International Student Services is having a webinar just exclusively for Indian students on the 16th of July. That's about a week from now, about 6 days from now. So make sure you attend those for getting all your immigration related questions answered. They're pretty helpful. So right now ISS is kind of swamped with work. They have a lot of OPT, CPT, the EAD processing, the new incoming students and their I-20s, and they're basically 15 people handling things for more than 1,000 people. So it gets really difficult for them to answer questions, even through email or phone. So I would highly recommend going and attending their webinar. So that'll be really helpful for you guys to get your answers, get your answers for immigration related questions. So that's on the 16th of July. We will also be sharing more details of those on the WhatsApp groups and Telegram groups.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much for your time. Again, stay safe during COVID. I know it's not safe out there, so please travel safe. Again, we're looking forward to meet you all at Agiland. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. See you all soon.
Thanks to the IGSA team. Yep.
Yeah, thanks for doing this.